Hello, I'm Julie from the Spellbound Bead Company, and today I'm going to show you how to make one of these lovely summery cabana chokers. They're made with a seal-on thread, which is a nice easy thread to work with, and incorporate 2 donuts in the centre and a selection of small beads to make a weave. And at the end you've got lace ends and an adjustable chain so you can get a perfect fit. These are the materials I'm using for the cabana necklace. I've got a 20mm donut in glass and a 25mm donut in metal. Now, as you can see, there are 2 holes, one either side of the donut itself, quite close to the edge, and that's going to allow us to anchor the glass donut right in the centre of the metallic donut. To pick up on the colour theme, I've got some seed beads and some extra round beads to make the weave. I've got some size 6 seed beads. These are the largest size of seed bead that are generally easy to get hold of. I've got some size 8 seed beads. They're a little bit smaller. And I've got some 4mm metallic beads. Now these have got like a sparkle finish on, so they pick up on this lovely brushed finish on the silver donut. I've also got some findings. I've got some box lace ends which will help us to attach the clasp, and I'm going to put a chain on the back of the necklace so you can get exactly the right size for your neck. To hold everything together, we're going to use some seal-on macrame cord. Now this one is about 0.5 millimetre in diameter, and we're very lucky with this product. It comes in over 100 colours, so you can choose whatever colour you like to go with your bead selection. Now I'm going for a bit of a peacock theme. I'm known to be a bit of a sucker for teal, so I'm going for teal for my donut and my large seed beads, blue for a contrast, and this lovely purple for my seal-on thread. To help me to guide you through this design, I've already done one side of the weave. Now this gives me something I can refer to as I'm adding the beads, and then you can see what's actually happening while I'm doing the weave. Now we have 6 thread ends, so we started with 6 thread ends here, and they taper down through 4 silver beads, through some of the blue beads which are the size 8, the green, and getting ever narrower until we end up with 1 silver bead. So the threads cross backwards and forwards through the beads. I've separated out the 6 ends on this side, and I'm going to call them threads 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now, as you can see, the first line of the weave is just 4 silver beads, so already I'm having to bring the number 6 here down to 4, and to do that I'm going to pair up threads 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So I've got threads 2 and 3 here. I'm going to bring the 2 ends together and pass them through one of these metal beads, and the metal beads are hollow, so if you turn them it'll slowly wind them onto the thread. If you just try to jab the thread straight through, it tends to get all creased up inside the hole. So try to keep the ends of your thread straight, push them into the hole, and then turn the bead and it should pop through. Now if you're having problems with your thread fraying, you can either trim it back. There's plenty of length, so you can trim a little bit each time if you need to, or the beader's trick is a little bit of clear nail polish. We paint it onto the end of the thread like that, run it through our fingers, and that pushes the nail varnish into the fibres. Then when it's dry, we can just get a pair of scissors and just snip, and that gives us a nice hard pointed end to go through the beads. Now while I've got thread number 1 in my hand, I'm going to put on 1 silver bead, and I'm going to do the same with thread number 6, and that gives us our 4 silver beads to match the other side. Now I'm going to start to weave threads number 1 and 2 together. So to start off with, I'm going to put 1 smaller seed bead onto thread 1 and 1 onto thread 2. And then I'm going to bring them together, and I'm going to add one of the larger seed beads. That's a bit of a tight fit, so I'm going to look for a seed bead with a slightly larger hole, and there, that goes on really easily. Now, seed bead holes do vary a little bit in size, not much, but when you are doing this type of work, it's a good idea to check out the hole sizes and see which has got the largest one when you need to pass multiple threads through. Now I'm going to do the same as I did with threads 1 and 2 on threads 5 and 6. I've got 1 small seed bead onto 5, 1 small seed bead onto 6, and I'm going to bring the 2 ends together. I'm going to look for a seed bead with a slightly more generous hole, one of the large ones, and both threads go through there. So I've started the weave here on either side. Now the 2 middle threads, threads 3 and 4, go through 1 small seed bead. Now this one is quite a tight fit, so just gently push them through, give the seed bead a bit of a twist, and there you can see it's gone through. And push that down. I just need to tidy it up a little bit to make sure that my threads are all coming through evenly. I want those 2 larger seed beads to line up. That means that I've got about the same amount of thread coming forward through the weave. Right, let's re-establish our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Doesn't matter if you get 3 and 4 swapped over or 1 and 2 swapped over inside the bead, as long as you've got a nice plan for your next row. Now the next part of the weave is going to involve joining these 2 threads, which is 3 and 4, to 2 and 5. So I'm going to join those 2 together and those 2 together. To start off with, I'm going to put 1 small seed bead onto thread 3. I'm then going to pick up thread 2, bring them together, and I'm going to put on this silver bead here. So it's 2 threads together through 1 silver bead, and just need to turn just a little bit. That's the end coming through, and push the silver bead down. Right, this is thread 4. I'm going to do the same here. So 1 small seed bead on 4. I'm going to pick up 5, bring 4 and 5 together, and we're going to put them both through 1 silver bead. There we go, and bring that down. There you go, you can see the weave is symmetrical now. I push those silver beads up a little bit, they come up against the green bead I put on previously, the green large seed bead. Now I'm going to separate the threads again. And the next part of the weave is going to join together threads 1 and 2 and threads 5 and 6. So I'm going to pick up threads 1 and 2 and I'm going to thread them together through one of the small seed beads. There we go, and we're through. You can see that's trapped that silver bead in place. Do the same on this side. So this is threads 5 and 6. That's it, and that's through a small seed bead. Now that leaves threads 3 and 4 in the middle that I haven't done anything with yet, and I'm going to pass those two together through one of the large seed beads. Bring the two ends together. There we go. So pull that up slightly. And now you can see we've got 3 pairs of threads again. We've got 1 and 2 together, 5 and 6 together, and 3 and 4 together in the middle. Now we're slowly tapering it down. We're now only 3 and a bit, well, just under 3 beads wide really. If I push those into that gap, you can see we're coming down quite quickly to make it narrower. Now we're going to join together 3 threads 2 and 3 and threads 4 and 5, and we're going to do that through a small seed bead again. So this is 2 and 3, and they're going into one of the small seed beads. There we go. Both through and push down, and then I need to pick up 4 and 5 and do the same. You can see we're nearly all the way down now. We're coming narrower and narrower. Let's re-establish our threads. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now the last bead to go on is one more silver bead, and that brings together threads 3 and 4 in the middle. There we go. That's threaded on and pushed up. And if I bring all the threads together, you can see that that weave now matches that weave. Now to complete it all, I'm going to have to pick it up, make sure that the weave looks even on both sides. It's very easy to pull one side tighter than the other, but I'm happy with that. I'm going to have to tie all 6 threads together with one knot. Now it's the same way we did it before. Make a nice loop exactly where we want the knot to finish. I'm going to use the tip of my scissors just to pull that through. Now you can see there's the knot. I need to push with finger and thumb up against that last silver bead. Now this thread is really forgiving when it comes to getting knots in the wrong place. You can pull them out quite easily or undo them quite easily, and also you can tighten a larger knot like that just one thread at a time to neaten it up. There we go. And that's the centre of our necklace nearly done. Now if I bring in a sample from before, you can see that this one has got little seed beads scattered on the threads before we get to the clasp. So I'm going to do that on one side. Very easy to do. You take one thread, make a simple knot. I'm just going to snip that in because I managed to have picked the only frayed thread. Thread on a seed bead. Now that first knot is about 2.5 centimetres away from the end of the design at the moment, and then I'm going to do another one about 2 or 3 centimetres along and thread on another small seed bead, and I'm going to do the same again. That one's a little bit far out, so let's just move it in slightly and put another seed bead on. And 3 is enough. I'm going to pick another cord, and this time I'll make the first knot a bit closer in. So I don't want these knots to line up. So they see that one's a little bit closer in, as opposed to that one there. This one's a bit closer. We'll do the same. That's 1. 2. 3. Don't make these knots too far apart because you'll be surprised how short the necklace actually needs to be if you're going to fit it as a choker. So when you put the lace end on, you don't want these beads to be in the way. 2. And I'm just going to do that on 3 of the 6 strands. If you do it on all of them, it just makes it too fussy. Okay, so if I bring all 6 strands together, you can see they're randomly spaced along, but it helps to bring that blue colour back into the rest of the necklace. Now I'm going to do the same on the other side, and then I'm going to show you how to finish off. I've already finished off this end of the design. I now want to show you how to finish off the second end. Now I've spaced out the beads as before on these little knots, and when I bring them together you can see we've got a similar effect to the other side of the design. Now to join all 6 threads together, I'm going to use a box lace end. Now this is a little folded piece of metal with a loop on. The idea is that one side folds down and then the other. Now this is made with quite hard metal, so you'll need a pair of flat nose pliers to do this with. And to start off with, I'm just going to start the fold. As you can see, I've just started to fold it in because it's much easier if it's halfway down when you're struggling with 6 threads. It's an awful lot to hold, and that's one less thing to get started. Right, now I've tried this round my neck, and I know that if I match this side to this side in length and add my lace end, it's just a little bit too short for my neck for it to sit as a choker. I'm then going to add a chain onto the back, and that gives me the fine adjustment so I can make a really nice fit. You don't want it too tight, so that gives you a bit of adjustment. Now, measuring that against the other side, I can see that the box lace then needs to join on there. I'm going to light the threads into the little channel like that. Make sure they're all the same length, that's really important. Let's pull that again, get them back in. There we go. Get them under tension, that's fine. Then with my flat nose pliers, I'm just going to fold gently onto that first side and get all the threads underneath it. Now the second side needs to come over the top. There we go. And don't squeeze too firmly. You need to get it nice and flat and firm. But if you squeeze too hard, there's a real danger you can actually cut the threads. So it needs to hold it, but it doesn't need to sever them. And then a pair of scissors, snip off the excess. Right, we're nearly there. Now we just need to add our chain with a jump ring. On this side I've already added a clasp with a jump ring. So this is just a little refresher as to how to use a jump ring. A jump ring has got a gap in it where it will open, and you need 2 pairs of pliers, one at right angles to the other, and you twist, and that opens it across the top. Pop on the things you need to join together, put the pliers back at right angles and twist to shut, and that gives you your finished necklace. And so that's in peacock colours, and we've also got it in lime green with turquoise, and we've got it in tanzanite with pink. Thank you for watching.